about this person from icon, legend, leader, part of the hip hop community, a very important member of the hip hop community. Ladies and gentlemen, Crazy Legs of the Rocksteady crew. Welcome back.
Domo arigato.
No audio? Oh, you guys, can you guys hear? Yeah? Okay, all good. So today, I don't want to lose that. So today, we're gonna get right into it. Today, we want to talk about a very special event, a very special product that is about to hit the market. And we're talking about the Rocksteady for Life book. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a very beautiful textbook-sized book full
It's a book the size of a book.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book. I am floored by it. My man Gorilla, thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
Wait, are all super chats for me today?
We'll talk about that. You could go check and talk to HR and the rest of the staff after the show. First, let me take attendance real quick. My man Mir Depp, No, the Machiavelli, Dance Music Diva, Alyssa, Detroit, what's going on? Who else is in the bill? One Good Foot. I think I got everybody for now. Thank everybody for being in the chat. My man Gorilla, thank you for setting it off. I want to thank everybody in advance for all the your support with the super chats, super stickers, and super gifts. And let us get into it. Legs, man, I gotta say I was able to read the book finally. And I really, first of all, what I want to say about this book is that it's an easy read. It's a page turner. It had, and the thing is for me, is that I've known Legs for quite some time, me being a member of the Rocksteady crew. And a small tidbit, I actually went to school with Crazy Legs' sister when I was living with my grandmother.
Hey, watch your mouth, all right?
But, so there were certain stories in here. It's funny because there were certain stories in here that I didn't even know happened. And then there were the stories that I did know about. So it's a beautiful book. Again, here's the cover right here for those that can see it. And here's the back cover right there. And thank you, Dance Music Diva, I appreciate that. She said it was, and then you could see the comments over there as well if you want to answer anything. I'm gonna take this very styled dust cover off just to show everybody
we don't want to mess that up.
What the book looks like without the dust cover. Rocksteady for Life, nice foiled, like I guess that's like a gold or a copper.
On the side it says
Rocksteady for Life as well,
yeah,
right
copper.
There. Copper, and in the back,
and it's kind of
Rocksteady.
So the colors are kind of like similar to what the original Rocksteady crew colors were, which were beige and brown.
Right.
So that's why it's like that.
Now, my first question to you is at what point did you consider writing a book? Was there a point in your journey where you're like, man, I'm almost approaching that?
Nope, not at all.
Really?
No, I just, those things, when you're trying to do your own book, it's such a pain in the ass.
Right.
And then...
Were there any attempts before this?
No.
Okay,
no.
Continue.
So, I always knew I had stories, and these are just some of the stories, but I felt like if this was gonna be done right, or if I ever was gonna do it, it had to be done with high quality, and really be something that would be legendary, or also a reference for people. When Rizzoli hit me up, Rizzoli slid up in my DMs, son.
That's why they contacted you.
They slid, yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
you never know, man. You just never know.
Ian Luna of Rizzoli, he's the editor of the book. Shout out to him. He did an amazing job.
Right.
He reached out to me and he said, hey, been looking around. We wanted, thinking about doing a book on breaking, and we realized that no one has ever had a major book deal as a B-boy or B-girl. Right. And they said, well, look, after our research, you're the one that should be doing it first.
Right.
And I was just blown away. I was like, is this real? This is cool. I mean, it's Rizzoli. I have Rizzoli books in my house.
Right.
You know, from fashion to
it's a big
hip
company.
hop. Yeah. So it was super intimidating to do because I've never done a book before, so
Right.
I had to.
You've been in books.
I've been in books, but I've never put a book together. So I did get a little guidance from them, and it was definitely easier than I thought. I think the intimidation factor was a hard part because number one, you feel like, is it gonna be as good as other books out there?
Right.
And you know what? And sometimes you start doubting, like, what makes my story so much better, or the Rocksteady Crew story so much better than others? And sometimes, you know, I think when you're in that position, a lot of us need to be reminded of who the fuck we are.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And I did this alone a lot, mostly alone, and I was like, I had to remind myself of who the fuck I am. You know, and I just was like, let me just bang this out and get it done, because it's gonna represent a lot for hip hop as a whole, because it expands the narrative beyond your typical photographers that are out there. There are a lot of exclusive photos in here that have never been published, and it also, without having to wave the Latino flag, there's a lot of Latino faces in there.
Right.
Without me having to push the agenda, oh, we were there, because I think that shit is corny.
Right.
You know,
Who cares?
Yeah.
Right,
So that is a good thing.
I'm guessing.
Oh wait, one more thing. It doesn't even. I don't even think it's going to be looked at as a dance book, which is pretty cool, because then it's just like, it's a hip hop book, and when people go through it, you know, there's hip hop, there's pop culture, there are all these things that make it go beyond just like, oh, a b-boy crew or whatever. You know?
Right. Well, my man No asked, could there be a part 2 of this book, or is it that in depth that there's no need?
Oh, this is a timepiece book, so it's late 70s to like 1990 or 91, so there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on. So when Rizzoli hit me up, they're like, hey, we want to do a timepiece book with you. We want to cover the early beginnings of Rocksteady Crew. And I was like, all right, cool. I got enough photos for that. And we actually have a whole shitload of photos for the 90s and the 2000s.
Right. So do you think there'll be a continuation?
I think that would have to come from
the company.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, you know, you look at a whole other generation of members who deserve to be recognized as well. You know, I look at it as, no matter how much time you put into Rocksteady, if you did something that was significant during your time, you deserve to be recognized, whether you're currently a member or not.
Right, and I feel you on that. Where is it? Don Manuel presents.
Hey.
He asked, what's your favorite hidden gem in the book that you were excited to share?
The first photos, I have the only photos, known photos, from the first ever curated hip hop event in California.
And that was called?
So that was, I don't know what it was called, but it was done in Industry City at a place called Skate Country. And actually, that was the day we met Boogaloo Shrimp, too.
Wow.
There were no B-boys and B-girls there yet. It was Grand Mixer DST, Africa Bambaataa, Futura 2000, Rocksteady Crew, so that would be Mr. Freeze, Buck 4, Kudiaki, Doze, and myself on that trip. B-Side.
Wow.
Grandmaster Kaz.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there were more.
Wow. You know, for me, there were stories that I read. The stories that I didn't know were the ones that obviously impacted me the most.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to talk about is your upbringing, like, because you know, being in New York during that time, I'm sure in other states it's obviously similar with a different habitat surrounding it, but you know, I didn't know about the things that your mother had to go through, what she had to endure just to be a mom, you know, and it's something that you don't really speak about, but when we were talking about it in the parking lot, you said something powerful. You were like, my mother is a survivor.
Yeah, definitely. My mom is part of that generation that dealt with domestic violence. And our generation is kind of like the generation that really started to shift.
Right.
So it started to not become the norm as much slowly in the 80s. It was real slow in the 80s, but up to the 70s, domestic violence and all these dysfunctionalities and living in an at-risk environment was pretty typical for someone like myself, born into survival in the Bronx.
And I bring that up because you and I...
Man, wait a second.
Okay.
Even the hospital didn't survive that I was born in.
Mine either.
I was born in Fordham Hospital.
I was born in Kings County in Brooklyn, and whenever I say that to like real Brooklyn heads, they're like, oh, bro, you was born in Kings County?
When'd you get out?
The Machiavelli said, Legs, what was it like first experiencing the X-Men? Oh, we're gonna get to that in a second, Machiavelli. That's a bit advanced, that's a bit ahead to talk about. Yes, thank you, Don Manuel. Definitely get into that question, Machiavelli. That's a little later in the history, so stay tuned for that. Now, what I do know is that your older brothers were DJs.
Yeah, my three older brothers were DJs.
So would you say that...
Wait, and Africa, Islam lived on the same block as us.
See, now, that's something I might have known, but I didn't pay attention to. That's crazy. Did he roll with your brothers back then?
So Africa Islam and my brother Robert were part of a crew called the Organization.
Wow.
So my brother in Africa Islam used to break together as well.
This is before you.
Before me. So I saw my brother.
Wait, let's say that one more time. Listen to the lineage, the history.
Yeah. So my brother was part of the Organization.
Which
crew,
brother, please?
Robert Cologne, Beefy.
Okay.
They call him Beefy. So, I mean, what they did was super remedial.
Right, it was primitive at the time. Right?
Yeah, and nothing like what we know as breaking today. So, Africa Islam was a b-boy in the Organization. The Organization became the Zulu Kings. The Zulu Kings became the Mighty Zulu Nation. Mighty Zulu Nation became the Universal Zulu Nation.
God. So you were literally born into...
I was born into hip-hop.
This life.
Yeah. Definitely.
Holy, like that's mind-blowing when you think about it, because in many ways, I don't know if I'm correct in my assumption here, but in many ways, your brothers kind of like paved the way for you to start your first steps, but obviously you...
No. Because when I saw my brother dancing, and I've told this story before, but I'm looking at my brother dancing, I'm standing on a stoop of where we lived, and him in Africa Islam. Africa Islam was the track star of the neighborhood also.
Okay.
He was really fast. You would never guess that now.
No. That's why when you think I'm laughing.
On sight,
Yeah.
you'd be like, huh?
No.
No offense, Islam. I love you, bro.
We love and respect that.
But you're not a track star anymore.
No.
So when I saw them, I put my head down in shame just looking at them like, yo, why is my brother throwing his body down on the floor like that? Now, there's no context, no music, just comparing moves. And not too long after that, Lenny Len takes me to...
Lenny Len is?
He's actually... So Lenny Len's mother was a godmother of my brother Vinny.
Okay.
So that automatically kind of made us cousins. So we always call each other cousins.
Puerto Rican shit, yep.
Yeah. So ghetto shit. And we lived in the same house.
Right.
It was upstairs, it was downstairs. And then when he moved to Crotona Avenue, he comes back and tells me, because he got into graffiti. He was really dope at art. Anyway, he's still dope
Lenny?
to this day.
Yeah, I did not know that about him.
He's nasty piecing. He says, yo, Rich, you gotta go to the jam. And we didn't call it hip hop yet. There's no such thing. It was a word being thrown around as like, oh, shout out to Erica Keela's in the building. But anyway.
Now wait, for context, how old are you? at this point when he's asking this?
10, 11.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez,
So
go
he's
ahead.
like, yo, Rich, you gotta show me. Well, first he used to put me up on like a graffiti cruise, like TMT, TNT. He would tell me about Kincaid, Case 2, Chain 3, Lee.
Was
Fabulous
Lenny bombing
5.
trains?
No, he was tagging up because you gotta remember how young we were.
Right.
You know, Lenny was a year older than me.
Oh, geez, y'all are both not even teenagers.
Nah,
Oh my goodness.
but
Go
the
ahead.
expressions on our faces were very adult.
y'all already been through it.
Yeah, we've lived a life at 10, 11. So one day he takes me to a jam, and it's the first time I see like breaking with music, and I'm watching people in there who are like graffiti writers, the stick-up kids. There's your fly girls before. Well, I don't even know what we call them, honeys.
Right.
And
Fly girls.
we used to call them honeys. Just,
Right.
I was talking to this honey.
Girlies was another.
Nah, well, for us it was honeys in our area of the Bronx.
Right.
And or honey dips.
Honey dip.
So anyway, Lenny Lem brings me to Crotona and 180th Street. I don't want to say the name of the school because I might get it wrong. Yes.
So it was a jam in the school.
Yeah, and a brother named Little Angel, who a Puerto Rican DJ, was rocking out there, and Little Angel was the main DJ at this underground social club on Crotona Avenue called Mom and Pop's Disco.
Okay.
So he was DJing in the park. I'm witnessing everything for the first time. I'm mad shy, go figure.
I mean, you know, you didn't find your, you know.
No. So, and I didn't dance. I didn't do anything. I wasn't artistic. I just wanted to play baseball and box.
Right.
And like any little kid who sees breaking for the first time, bro, I jumped in there. The music was playing. I jumped in. My gear was trash. I looked like a little welfare case. And
Well, you were.
this is true. I was, okay, let me correct that. I went to jam, I was a welfare case. And I just jumped in a circle, and I don't know what I did, but I know it was whack.
Right.
But I felt good.
Right. You expressed yourself.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, I was born in 66, but I came to life in 77.
That's a fascinating thing.
And
Wow.
when you think of everything that's going on in 77, you got the Son of Sam. You got the Yankees winning the World Series.
Star Wars.
You got Star Wars, yeah. And you also have the New York City blackout.
Yep.
It was a hot summer.
And you always, I think you always
That was the first hot boy summer.
Right. And I think you always got to include, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you got to include 42nd Street and the martial art cinemas in that.
I was too young at that age.
Okay.
So I would just watch it on Channel 5.
Right.
On Saturdays, at what? 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock, yeah. So that leads me to the next question, going a little ahead now, because there was a clip that came up on Instagram a couple of days ago, and I want you to clarify when you started taking to the streets to recruit, what do you remember from your perspective, how you got members down? What was the process?
The process was this.
Okay.
I moved to Manhattan for 4 years. And when I moved to Manhattan, it was 1979.
Right.
I had just gotten into Rocksteady.
Okay.
So as soon as I get into Rocksteady, now I'm moving away from the Bronx.
Right.
So my whole thing was, all right, well, how do I get back to the Bronx for the jams and all this other stuff? Because it wasn't popping when I lived in Inwood like that. It just wasn't like that for me.
Okay.
And so I would do things like, there was a gas station, I don't even know if they exist anymore, but Gasateria.
Oh, wow, I remember those. Budget gas.
There was Gasateria right there on 10th Avenue, right by the Dykeman houses. And I would either go there, and mind you, I'm like maybe 11, 12 years old now. No, yeah, whatever it is. And I'll go there and employ myself, pump gas for change.
Oh, yeah, I remember those days.
So I would do that, and then I would go to Pathmark on 207th Street.
Bag groceries, right?
Bag groceries for change.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was like, okay, well, can we make $5 each? Me and my cousin Lenny.
Okay.
If he was with me or if I was with one of my other friends. I make that $5. I'd have enough for a slice of pizza and a soda. I have bus fare to get to wherever I needed to go to in the Bronx.
Amazing. Okay.
And, you know, most of the times I had to walk back home.
Right. Jeez, from the Bronx?
Yeah, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm over here like 12 years old, walking.
In New York City, and oh my God.
Nah, but it gets better. So
The worst time in New York.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, so, you know, walking back from the Bronx to Inwood, you know, I didn't have my own set of keys. You didn't really get your own set of keys back then.
So you had to wake up somebody in the house?
No. Everywhere I lived, I learned how to break into. And whether I was breaking in or leaving the door half locked where I could just jimmy it, or I would unlock the windows, climb up the fire escape.
Wow.
And
Actually, I know exactly what you're talking. I don't know why I'm acting surprised.
Yeah, no.
I've done these things.
So no, but the thing is that my mom was so gangster, you know, I would be like, you know, let's say I remember the first time I went to see Grandmother Theodore, and I wanted to see him at Ecstasy Garage on Jerome Avenue. And Lenny Lynn was like, yo, we gotta go see Theodore because he be cut with handcuffs now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
amazing. Amazing.
That was turntablism back then.
Early turntablism.
So, all right, this one night, I was like, all right, cool. You know, sometimes you could climb up the side of the building, certain tenement buildings.
Spider-Man shit.
And then you jump onto the fire escape, climb up there. I'll go to the 4th floor. Mind you, the fire escape is facing the front of the building.
Right.
So if anyone's watching me, they figured out my whole shit.
Right, which is the setup to get robbed. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would open the window, and next thing you know, bam! My mom would punch me in my face.
Yeah, that was how it was, man.
I'd sneak in. And I'm lucky because, you know, we had those deadbolt bars.
Remember those?
That would go into the door.
Into the door, yeah.
Like
big
firemen
metal,
couldn't even
yeah,
get in.
yeah.
And
Those were crazy.
I would, you know, sneak in at night, and then, you know, I'd creep in. Bah! My mom would always clock me. I'd have bloody lips.
That's when you started to learn how to buy.
No, it was before that. Well, what am I gonna do? It's my mother.
Right.
And I deserved it.
Right.
I mean, I'm like 12, 13, whatever.
Yeah, you're scaring the shit out of your
12
mother,
years
bro.
old, and,
Yeah.
and I'm coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's nuts. There were no timeouts back then.
Nah, it was just a beatdown. Anthony, you know how many, your stutters, you know how many beatdowns you're owed? You ever get arrested for graffiti?
Yes, he has. Wait, now I got some just up-to-date questions really quick. The first one was my man Machiavelli had asked, what was your impression? This is more of an up-to-date question. What was your first-hand experience of the X-Men versus the Invisible Scratch Pickles? Because obviously that's not
Me
something.
and Alex Aquino set that up.
And what did you feel
And I
about
would say
that?
mostly Alex Aquino.
Right.
I mean, of course, I threw the event, and we had that at the Manhattan Center in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Right.
And to me, you know, I was geeked out because we had like this elite group of DJs, Mixmaster Mike, DJ Apollo, and Qbert. And as much as I was an X-Men, you know.
Right, of course. Home team.
Yeah. I you know, loved them, but I just knew that history was gonna be made. And
it was.
I think that was, for me, it's not so much to the personal feeling of what I'm watching, but what the people get to experience.
Right.
We were able to bring something.
It was amazing.
To the audience that was never done before. Unless, I mean, I don't even know.
Not that I remember. Like full
Yeah.
squad battles? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Another one is my man 07 from Down Under. He said, who are your favorite B-boys currently, and how do you see the future for b-boys, and also how do you feel about it being in the Olympics?
I don't have any favorite b-boys right now or b-girls. Not even following it like that.
Okay.
When it comes to the Olympics, I mean, the Olympics is just another platform, and I think that people need to remember that although it's another platform, it isn't, we shouldn't be living for the Olympics. It's not like, and this isn't to be against it, and there's a lot of work to be done to kind of like fix it as they figure it out. I just look at it as another platform. It's kind of like the Olymp. You know what? You have the NBA.
Right.
You have NBA that goes into the Olympics.
Right.
If the American team chosen from the NBA wins the Olympics, it's one thing, but it will never amount to a win. Within the United States for a championship.
Right.
An NBA
It's
championship.
its own separate
it
thing.
just doesn't amount to the same kind of glory. I think it's a certain pride in the country, but and that's cool. But I think the most important thing is to support underground or promoters who are throwing those events that aren't those big funded events, because most of the people who learn how to dance learned at these small events.
Right. Which leads me to one more question based off of what the homie 07 said, which is, how do you feel about now, at this point, what Red Bull has done in the battle circuit, because they've been so consistent and they seem to have lasted for quite a long time throwing these battles? What do you feel about that?
Red Bull has done a great, I would say, they've done a lot of good.
Okay.
But when it starts, I think there's an element of it that can be perceived as a monopoly. And mind you, they support other events.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they still support other events now, but I know they've supported a lot of events the same way Monster has. But when people are living only for one event, to define them as the greatest in the world, I mean, where does that leave Freestyle Session, UK B-Boy Champs, R16, all these other big homegrown events that's for us, by us.
Right.
And mind you, Red Bull and Monster and other companies have sponsored those events too.
Right.
But I think it's the mentality of the dancer that is also treating the big corporate events as if that's the end all be all. And the thing is that once a marketing strategy starts to change, you're gonna realize, like, okay, well, they're not really into this for the culture. They're supporting the culture, but they're still a brand. And fair game.
Right.
It's all fair game. I would just say to remember to support your local things, and you can rock out at the bigger corporate events. They're fun. They're great opportunities. People get to travel.
Right.
You get to break bread with people you probably never come across for the rest of your life. And you also, I think the biggest part of what these events do, expanding into like Freestyle Session and everything else, you're breaking bread with people from other countries, and you may live in a country that makes you feel like people from another country ain't shit until you meet them and you start building off of like, yo, how'd you do that move? Oh, I did it like that. Oh, yo, let's go grab a bite and talk about it. Boom. Next thing you know, you breaking bread, and then it's like, yo, what is it like being a Muslim? It's like this. What is it like being Christian? People start having a real one-on-one conversation that breaks down the barriers and builds bridges.
They build bonds.
Yeah, bonds and bridges, you know?
Right. And obviously, reading the book, and you had just mentioned, like, even for you guys coming up, like you said, the first California, thinking back as kids growing up in New York, California was a different planet back then. You couldn't process going there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you must have built bonds that you wouldn't have necessarily have built just being in the Bronx.
Absolutely.
You know? Right.
Yeah.
So that makes it special as well. Let me just make sure I got everything here. What up? Fly Lady Dove is in the building. What's up, Dove?
I call her Dovely.
Yes, my man Imando. There will be a link in the description, but the book is called Rocksteady for Life, and it is available on Amazon. Can you tell the party people what happened with the book?
Actually, oh man, I just got an email today. These people are gonna be the first ones to get it for a discount because of Barnes & Noble.
Okay, listen up.
Okay,
You want a discount code for the new Rocksteady book? Listen here.
And it ends tomorrow, so. Let me, I'll find it. You could ask me a question.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
actually, I found it.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. All right, so if you do, you know what? We're gonna post it. We'll post it. You can post it in the link.
Put it in the description.
Yeah, put it in the description. But pre-order 25 on if you go to the Barnes & Noble site.
So stay tuned, because I will have the Barnes & Noble, the Barnes & Noble's information in the description with the savings code that he's going to provide us with. You'll be able to get a little, couple of dollars knocked off the cover price. But definitely you want to support this book. Now let's get back in the book. What I want to do is I'm gonna ask you some questions, but I'm gonna show you guys some pages. So pay attention here. I'm gonna just go through some of the pages here. Oh wait, I gotta go here to move it.
Do they see that live, everything?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So you'll see it now. I'll just wait till this catches up. But could you tell me something about this first piece that we're stopped at right now?
All right, so that piece was done by Ernie Velez, and I believe Mayor 139 helped to do some fill-ins and all that stuff. But Ernie Velez is the person who really, when you first started seeing those graffiti letters
that were twisted, right?
Popping out the wall. Yeah, he's that dude.
Yeah, he was.
So he did that actually in the 90s.
Yes.
Because we were doing something for PBS called Great
Performances. I remember that. I think I have it on a VHS tape somewhere.
And Ernest Dickerson was the director.
Amazing.
Ernest Dickerson came up under Spike Lee.
Wow. Okay, let me give to the first OG pick. Could you tell us something about this pick really quick?
That photo was, now this is also a photo that has never been published before.
Oh my gosh.
This photo is of Baby Love, qunique, those Africa Islam, who was our DJ back then, which is interesting because first met him as a b-boy, and he ended up being our DJ.
How crazy is synchronicity right there?
Yeah, and then Buck 4 and Ken.
Yes.
So that's at in Yogi Park in front of NHK. We had that day we had a Q&A, and there was a screening for the film.
Which film?
Wild Style. That was the Wild Style tour in 1983.
Amazing. Let me just randomly see where it lands.
Because it can't give it them all.
Okay. Let's see. Tell me what's going on here.
So in that picture, it's Kippy D. Kippy D was a member of Rocksteady. He went from Kippy D to be called Rashawn because he became a 5%er as well.
Yes, sir.
We were practicing for our first show ever, and it was supposed to be at a place called Common Ground. And that's the story you read. I think you should read the story.
Is that? Yeah, I don't want to give away too much. Yes.
You can read it directly from the book. So we were preparing for a show. It was our first show ever. And it turns out that the show got shut down because of some beef, some graffiti beef that was happening.
So that was over graffiti beef?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was real in New York, man.
So I'm trying to find, because thankfully, Henry Chalfant.
Are we talking about the story that I told you?
Yeah.
Because I could just regurgitate it. I remember the gist of it. I'd rather people read it. So the story goes that the person that was throwing the event, they started gathering everything for the event, and some elders, some older street folk showed up and basically asked why they weren't invited. And then it
was graffiti based.
Right. And so it quickly exploded into violence where even a gun was in the situation and they had to call the cops. There was a child on the top floor. It was a mess. And according to what I read, they had to cancel.
Would that be this one right here?
They had to yes, they had to cancel.
Read it out. Read it out.
Okay. Early in 1981, my neighbor Norman Taffel, who ran a performance space in Soho called Common Ground, invited me to put on a performance there based on my photography. He had been watching me as I accumulated a big collection of photos on graffiti while observing the parade of kids coming into my studio to look at the photo albums. A slideshow didn't seem to be much of a performance, so I looked around for something to liven it up. I decided to invite Fab Five Freddy and Ramelzi, who I had just met, and I asked Take One, a kid who was visiting me, if he knew any B-boys, and he said, I love this quote, I know the best crew in the city. That is the most hip-hop, beautiful ego shit ever. The next day, he brought Crazy Legs and Frosty Freeze of the Rocksteady crew to my studios, and I was blown away by their moves. I invited them to be in my performance. They explained that breaking crews would engage in battles, challenging other crews. For the purposes of the performance, they would divide their crew into two groups, Rocksteady crew and Floor Master dancers, to demonstrate how a real battle was done. On the day, here's where keeping it real goes wrong. Now, before I finish this story, how many times would you say that this was a regular occurrence, this kind of outcome?
Pretty often.
And the reason why I bring this up is so people understand the temperature of New York.
Nah, it was always beef, man. People believe that we would break instead of fighting. And that was just something that was said on That's Incredible by one of New York City Breakers. And we were like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, what are we gonna do? Hey man, I'm mad at you.
Let's battle.
You stole my basketball. We're gonna dance now. Fuck out of here.
Anyway.
Call it stutters.
Wait, let me get back to the full screen here. Okay, here we go. On the day of dress rehearsal, that sounds very expensive.
Crew shirts.
On the day of dress rehearsal, everything went well till the intermission. It's always the intermissions that gets you, man.
And there wasn't even an audience there. It was just practice.
Right.
Rehearsal.
When half a dozen older, more thuggish men came into the space and wouldn't leave. Sounds about right. Why didn't you invite us? They asked. Their question was just a pretext. They were looking for someone associated with the show whom they wanted to attack.
T-Kid, I think.
This person eventually first of all, there's a beautiful fold out in the middle there. Can't really see it, but that's the idea. You got to get the book. Where was I? And all hell broke loose. Listen to this. Machetes or machetes appeared. Machetes, bro. Machetes. Appeared from behind the DJ equipment. DJ was packing a machete.
You gotta cut wires, man.
That's insane.
Cut it up, Wiz.
Oh my God. Let me get back here. Where was I? Someone shouted, "Gun!" I have a side note. My dad did that at the Circle Theater in Parkchester.
Great.
And he emptied an entire movie theater. Anyway, that's a whole nother book. And I ran up a ladder to the loft with my 9-year-old daughter to call the cops. In a minute, it was over. The target of the ball busters, remember that name for your history. You can ask Juju more about that. Juju from the Beatnuts, by the way. Ayer continued on at a run, heading for the subway where he escaped. In the subsequent quiet, Norman, the owner of the space, said, "Sorry, Henry, we have to cancel the show tomorrow. I don't have insurance to cover gunshot wounds." I don't think anybody does. Next day, a Sunday, we went to the space to explain to the disappointed crowd. This is dope, just to show you what we're talking about as far as who was paying attention. This is the beginning of the blend of cultures here. Next day, a Sunday, we went to the space to explain to the disappointed crowd that lined up for the show that it was canceled. Among the people waiting to get in were such downtown luminaries as Keith Haring, Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Michel Basquiat.
Michelle, excuse me. I don't have my glasses on. And David Byrne of the Talking Heads. That's an amazing story, man. And that was like if you really think about it, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, when you guys started going into the downtown scene,
Yeah.
that was like a norm for you guys.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, so when we did the actual show at the next venue called the Kitchen Center for Performing Arts, Basquiat was there, Keith Haring was there, Andy Warhol was there, I believe David Byrne was there.
Wow.
And it was covered by a lot of publications. We started getting major press. And by the way, the photos in that section of the book are by Henry Chalfant.
Amazing, amazing. First of all, thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support, baby. One good foot, machete life.
Machete, machete, machete.
Oh my God. Terrible T-Kid, Cope, and Crazy Legs got tags on a skateboard hanging in my room. That's amazing, Mir Depp.
Nice.
Very amazing. The Mighty Giants, welcome, peace. Switch, aka Riff, welcome, welcome. One good foot, what's going on? Yes, yes, yes. My man Lexi Giovanni, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. Okay, so.
Can I do one of the stories also?
Sure, of course.
I can do your question first.
Okay, so now I would love for you to break down something that I think flies over a lot of people's heads. There's like a transformation of Rocksteady that happens really quickly.
Yeah.
And it ends up being this squad as the face for a little while.
Yeah.
This squad
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Can you explain how it went from the squad that is in the early photos to this squad here?
The early photos are like
Frosty Freeze,
oh.
take one, you know.
So I was in the hospital at the time, of course, that shit is typical. First time I ever went to the hospital, no, second time. And I had pulled groin and I was...
You talk about it in here,
yeah,
continue.
I was hemmed up. And when I was in there, Kool Lady Blue, who was our manager at the time, told the crew that they selected Doze, Kenny, Baby Love, Kuriaki, Bug 4. Whether they could sing or not, they said, "Hey, we're gonna take you to
Careful with the mic, man.
we're gonna take you to Boston to see if you know how to sing." Little did they know they were recording a damn song called "Hey You the Rocksteady Crew,"
The
and
music industry always finds a way.
30 days later, the song is like in the top 10 in the UK. Actually, it was this one right here. This one.
Yes.
So, it's moving like at least 100,000 units
In
for
Europe.
Of 45.
Right. I have
And
the Up
that's
Rock
just
45.
London.
Right.
I mean UK.
Right.
And there was a lot of beef over that because I was upset about who she chose because Doze was in Rocksteady as a graffiti writer and an up rocker.
Right.
Dope.
Right.
Fills a void. But I wouldn't have chosen him as somebody who
B-boy,
got down
right.
on the floor.
Correct.
Because we had other people in the crew who were much better. And I never would have chosen Baby Love because although she was learning from us, she wasn't that girl that was out there battling. And I was like, yo, I want Headspin Janet in this because Janet was the B-girl that was in Rocksteady. And
was Baby Love already a member though?
yeah, but as a Webble dancer. And just like as one of our little fly girls.
Right,
you know?
right.
She was a fam.
Right.
You know, she was
part of the family.
Unquestionably a full-on member of the crew. But I was just thinking, like, you know, like, I'm not thinking, you know, when I think about it now, I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, they didn't choose any, not darker faces.
Wow, I didn't even peep that. That's
I said,
right, because Little Crazy Legs, you know, Take One, Frosty Freeze, these are more, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, it became an issue because when we were performing, and of course I was a lot more immature back then, and I was getting upset because it's like, yo, this girl don't really do much on stage. And look, it's not like we're out there, we were fucking lip syncing, bro.
Right, which is something you said in the book as well.
Yeah, so it's not like we're out there doing some sort of
like Motown
operatic performance.
Or like a Motown, like, like choreographed, right.
So all we really had to do was remember choreography and get better at breaking.
Right.
And
the breaking was the selling point of the show. It wasn't the song.
She wasn't getting better.
Right.
And I was upset. You know, there was a point on the tour, and mind you, she's young, we're all young, so a lot of, and we're all thrown into a situation we weren't chasing.
You don't even know how to deal with it. Coming from the, like what I said in the beginning of the book, coming from that kind of background, how do you know how to process something like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we were on tour, and she started gaining weight on tour. And like for me, it's like, yo, what dancer goes on tour and gains weight?
Right.
You got, because we put in work. And you know, she would only dance, like she had like some real basic New York style electric boogie stuff.
Right.
And
she was doing the best that she could in her mind.
I believe she was capable of way more because Baby Love, I'll tell you one thing, her footwork was nice.
Right.
And I just don't know if she had it in her to go harder.
Right, it might not have been her passion. Right. Correct.
Right.
So, what were you gonna read? You were gonna read something?
Yeah, I didn't even find it.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, you know, one of the stories in the book, I always find this story
do you know which one you're looking for?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming up. Oh, here we go. So it was around the time that I met when we met Queen Elizabeth in 1983.
This story is great. Go ahead.
So right here, meeting Queen Elizabeth. I don't know if they can see that, but
yeah, you could. Right
me
there,
and Queen Elizabeth.
Right there, boom, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'll read the story.
Continue.
Here's a story
of a lovely lady.
So, says, Royal Variety Performance, November 7th, 1983. Theatre Royal Drury Lane, London. Following the success of our single "Hey You," the Rocksteady crew, we found ourselves in a world we never could have imagined, performing for Queen Elizabeth II. It was a massive honor for us, our families, and the whole neighborhood to bring breaking to the Theatre Royal. But when it came time to actually meet the Queen, my head was in the wrong place. As a recovering thief.
That's a crazy line right there.
As a recovering thief, I was supposed to be focusing on the royal protocol I've been taught. But all I could see were the massive gems around her neck. While I was shaking her hand, I wasn't thinking about the history of the Royal Variety Performance. I was fighting that old urge to just snatch that necklace and run.
With a tuxedo on?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there's some wild stories in there too, man. Like, I'm scared of, like, you know, my mom reading some of the stories.
No, but you know, there's a lot of great stories, a lot of great tidbits. But overall, what blows me away about the entire book are the photos. There are some photos in this book that have never been seen before, as far as not only just the Rocksteady crew history, but hip hop history as well. And so you definitely, if you're a hip hop head, this is something you definitely want in your collection. I already ordered mine. It's on its way in September, of course. And Let me ask you this. I want to just get back to this because I wanted to ask you.
Oh, we do have a little more time.
Okay.
I just flipped my schedule.
I got you. When you see this now, where you're at in life, what are your feelings about this?
I'm not even stuck in the past about it.
No,
you know
but
what?
do you care about it? You have to
You have to care about it
Right.
because it's part of the story. It's
Right.
part of the narrative of my life. It's a story of my life.
Right.
But I'm not locked into any particular part of my life and stuck in that zone. I know a lot of people like to celebrate it and enjoy it and love going down memory lane. And that's all cool, you know, but I don't really think about it much.
Right.
It's cool. It's good to do the book, and which will probably make me not, well, maybe while I do the book tour, I'll be thinking about it a lot. But once this is done, I'm probably going to move on to something else.
Right, right.
And because some of the stories here explain everything.
Right.
I'm like, go buy the book.
Another thing that crosses my mind, and you have mentioned this before, is that this was also very emotional for you.
Yep.
Could you be more in depth with that? What was it?
Well, when you're going through all these photos and you
Lean more on this side.
Number one, you're reminiscing,
Right.
and then you start also thinking about a lot of your friends who are no longer here.
And that would be?
Yeah, and so that was a real tough part for me where I had to walk away from it for a little bit, or, you know, I'd be going for hours and I would go 12 hours straight working on stuff and just be so emotionally overwhelmed. I gotta like, whoa, like force myself to go to sleep because I was just going into a deep hole of sadness and sometimes crying while I'm doing the book because I'm just missing my boys.
Right.
And, you know, and yeah, that's really it. That's it.
So there's got to be a nice feeling in a way that you're preserving their legacies.
Absolutely. I mean, even having Frosty Freeze on the cover is a way of
showing that kind of
continuing a legacy, because Frosty Freeze, that's a still from Flashdance.
Wow.
So that, you know, putting Frosty Freeze on the cover was something cool. I could have put myself on the cover
Easily.
but I don't need to.
Right.
It's not important. Would it be nice? Yeah. Is it nice if I celebrate Frosty? Yes.
Now, I'm about to ask you an emotional question because you brought up Frosty Freeze,
Yeah.
and because you know, I know this story. You know, in the book, but I knew this outside of the book.
Yeah.
In the book, you talk about he was, you know, he had a turbulent relationship with the crew, but when he was ready to pass into the afterlife, there was something that you did, and could you tell us?
Yeah, so Frosty was kicked out of Rocksteady multiple times. And when I started bringing up Rocksteady again in the 90s, I included Frosty in several things, and he thought that was an automatic entry back into Rocksteady. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it, whatever. You know, let bygones be bygones, let them feel good about it. But it started to turn into a thing where there was a sense of entitlement, and he wanted to be involved with more.
Right.
And Frosty never advanced his skill set in terms of breaking.
Right.
And he had also his own vices that he had to deal with that made it even more difficult to deal with
advance,
him.
to progress,
Well, to deal with him, yeah.
Right.
So, you know, him and I got into it. He was upset because he felt like he needed to be involved with more. And I'm thinking, dude, I didn't even put you in the crew. You kind of like invited yourself.
Yeah, he walked in.
I was like, oh, well.
That was Frosty, man.
Because everyone says it's Frosty.
It's Frosty.
And so I forgot what it was, but there was a problem, and I was like, yo, I can't deal with you anymore. I was like, this is it.
Right.
And he ended up doing an interview with a magazine, and he said, and I've never even talked about this publicly, he was like, yeah, Rocksteady crew is NBA, no blacks allowed. I'm like, what the fuck? So I called Frosty up and I'm like, yo, my man, like, what are you talking about? Charlie Rock, you got E. Swift, Richard Medina.
We had Shaolin Monk. We had
Flowmaster. And I'm like, what is it that you're saying that there's no blacks allowed? That's insane.
Right.
Like, we didn't grow up like that. And I said, Frosty, is it that you want to be the only black person in Rocksteady? He said, yeah, that's right. I'm like, Frost, come on. I mean,
Frosty.
Frosty was wild.
Yeah, that was Frosty, man.
I don't.
For those that don't understand, that's just how he was.
I really see that as I want to be involved with more.
Right.
Because I don't think Frosty's like that.
No, I think he was just reaching
but
for
in
straws.
the conversation, right. So we had a falling out. You know, at that point, I just didn't want to deal with him anymore. You know, it's like, you know, how you gonna say that about me? And I wasn't about to have a public argument to prove a point.
Nah.
Because I don't think it's anyone's business. Even if he wasn't in the crew at that point, it's still crew business.
But now I want you to tell the story, right?
You know, when Frosty was on his deathbed, I went to visit him, and he was doing really bad. He couldn't communicate. He had gangrene on his leg. Like his leg was literally falling off.
Right,
I mean, pieces.
I understand.
You already know. So, you know, I wanted Frosty to go out with a smile on his face, and I was like, and I brought a Rocksteady crew hat with me.
Wow.
I was like, yo, Frost, you want to be in Rocksteady? And he just started crying and smiling. He couldn't speak. He started crying, you know. So I put the Rocksteady hat on him, and that was it. He died a Rocksteady member.
Wow, that is incredible. You know what's funny? To add a little funny punch to this story.
I got the hat back after he died.
No. That makes it funny, but in a different way. I understand.
It needs to be preserved, and that hat has not been touched since Frosty died.
Now, a funny twist to that story. A few weeks later, at his funeral, you know, all of us were at his funeral, and the place was packed. Yeah. And I remember there was a friend of his family, an older man, had gotten up, and he wanted to get things in order in the funeral home. Like, he was like, all right, everybody have a seat, and everybody will get a chance to say their piece about Freesley Frost. And everybody was so sad, and then this friend of the family, and it was like perfect for Frosty.
Frosty would have laughed and been mad at the same time, you know?
Oh my gosh, man.
It wouldn't be the first time somebody messes up our names.
I know. You know, speaking of names, and I know you've told this story a gajillion times, how did you get your name Crazy Legs for the people that don't know?
So when I lived in Inwood, I went to junior high school 52, and I was practicing in the auditorium after school. And a lot of people would go there, cheerleaders would go there, people practicing foreplay would go there. And this girl, Arlene Rosario, was walking down the aisle of the auditorium, and she was like, ew, he got some crazy legs. Now, she's the captain of the cheerleaders.
Oh, I didn't even know that part.
Yeah. She's walking with the rest of the cheerleaders.
Oh. Wow.
I got co-signed
by the captain of the
cheerleaders. So then, all right, cool. She starts calling me Crazy Legs. The cheerleaders start calling me Crazy Legs.
That's it.
And then I end up in the school performance of Grease. The play Grease.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was in Sha-Na-Na, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We were performing hand jive. And at the break part of hand jive, I break on that part in the play.
Oh my God.
I did my thing, fast backspin, freeze, all that shit. The whole school went berserk.
That is amazing.
And then the whole school started calling me Crazy Legs. And then I got a shirt one day. It was a black shirt with red letters, and I think I'm wearing a shirt in one of these pictures, and it said Crazy Legs on it. I couldn't afford to put Rocksteady Crew on.
Right, it's too much.
You need a budget.
Yeah.
And I remember,
gotta pump more gas.
I remember getting on the train on Dykeman Street,
Right.
and I was like, yo, I'm walking on a train, I'm like, and mind you, I'm self-conscious. I'm still not really that confident.
Yeah, you're still kind
I'm
of shy.
confident with my dancing, but nothing else.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, these people are gonna think I'm weird. It says Crazy Legs on my shirt. They're gonna think there's something wrong with me.
Right. So, I'm curious, have you ever seen that girl ever again?
Never. She was a senior.
I wonder if she's even still here. You know, that's an amazing story, man.
I would like to take her out to dinner one day.
Yeah, man,
Shit.
that's insanely dope. Wow,
Give her a book.
So, wow, you know, I personally never thought I'd see the day when this would happen.
Or your son's name in it.
Or my son actually helped out a
He
bit.
did the stills for the two.
There you
for
go.
Hey You
Stutters
video
is in the book.
And the Uprock video.
There you go. And you know, one thing that stands out when I read this book is that, and you can confirm this, is that as dope as the moments were, it feels like a lot of it was surrounded in chaos because everybody was too young to really process.
There were street wars, all kinds of shit. People doing drugs and, you know, investing in the leisure time of our youth.
So my curiosity is this: in all of that chaos, how do you think you were able to stay somewhat glued to the path? That's what blows my mind. Especially, obviously you can't really talk about the 90s because it doesn't play a role in this, but
No.
But towards the end, when the crack era rolled in and b-boying kind of took a back seat just for a second, like, how did you just still stay glued to the path? I don't even understand that.
In the mid to late 80s, I pulled away. We were in litigation with Virgin Records. We had a $1 million deal with Virgin Records, and we only saw $7,000 each out of it.
Ooh.
We learned the word recuperable.
That's the music industry strikes again.
Yeah. So we were signed by Charisma Records, and Virgin was a distributor. So I have pictures of us with Richard Branson in '83 when we met the Queen. We all went out to dinner, and I know I'm off topic now, but he's like, he's about to order champagne. He's like, what do you guys drink? They're like, yeah, we want Moet.
Moet.
And then he's like, hold on a second. Like, let me get like whatever bottles of Louis Roederer Cristal. And
the $1 million cup joint.
Then he's like, tell all your rapper friends back in New York, this is what they should be drinking. Oh man, yeah.
So what do you think kept you? What?
All right.
Because obviously a lot of people didn't survive.
Nah, I started working regular jobs. I was doing temp jobs. I worked on Wall Street.
You even worked in a gym too, right?
I worked at Bally's Health and Fitness, Jack LaLanne back then, and a lot of it has to do with Jerry Fontenez, because one day it was like '89, and Jerry Fontenez was a light heavyweight champ in Taekwondo.
Yes.
Full contact though. He was like, your legs, rock steady for the '90s, and I'm like, nah, oh God, I don't want to go through that again. And
wait, I gotta ask, what made you react that way? Was it the ending was rough?
What do you mean, the ending of Rocksteady?
Like when you went on hiatus.
Oh yeah, it was rough, and then you go from being welcomed everywhere to get to the back of the line. And that was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Right.
It was a great lesson to be learned, because to this day, since that moment, if I want to go to somewhere, I'm not, if I can't get in on a list, I'm going to pay to get in.
Right.
I'm not going to walk in with a sense of entitlement. And I get people like weird with me, like, come on, man, what you doing?
Right.
So Jerry Fontenez is like, yo, Rocksteady for the 90s. Then I started hanging out with you. You were basically the first member of Rocksteady crew for the reboot. You know, it's like,
Something is an honor for me.
it's like Marvel rebooting.
Yes.
You know,
I was
and-
there for the first Iron Man movie.
So Q and I start going out to clubs. We're hanging out. You know, he's practicing his breaking more again. For fun,
I don't know.
but he was
I don't
more
know why,
of an
but-
MC. Nah, and you're up rocking.
Right. Well, I was up rock
yeah.
champ. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
And then we would go to clubs, and sometimes we'd be waiting for South Bronx to come on, and I put Q and Rocksteady, and we just jump up real loud.
The real Rocksteady taking out these toys.
And it kind of made people look over like, huh?
Yes.
And it caught a little attention.
Yes, it did.
And so Wiggles approached me one day, and he's like, yo, we got this show, and I want to put you in it. And you know, let's do it like a Rocksteady crew rhythm technicians thing. And I was like, all right, bet. I'll reach out to Kenny. And Kenny was like, nah, my wife, she don't want me to do this.
You guys are all coming off of withdrawal from what you just experienced. That's
No, this is way after that. now.
Okay.
So it's way after that. Kenny's already doing what he's doing, working a regular job, and you know, it took some convincing to make him want to be in it. I think maybe Wiggles convinced him. And then that led to us doing the play So What Happens Now.
Well, first, as I remember it, you can't forget that show that we did for The Source.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was big.
Yes.
So we did at the bank.
I think so. I know I was the
Yeah.
MC that was like, come on,
Yeah.
everybody,
So the
run."
interesting about that is that when we did that show for Source Magazine, Ultramagnetic performed
Yes,
that
Tim
thing.
Dog.
Tim Dog.
There was a few like big names.
Yeah. And that was the day that I met Alex Aquino, because Alex Aquino and FM20,
Wow.
FM20 DJs.
Holy crap. Yes.
We connected with them. FM20 DJs became Rocksteady DJs, who eventually became the Invisible Scratch Pickles.
Right. Wow. Jeez. All right, I don't want to go too far tonight. I do have a question.
We can talk as much about these stuff as possible.
But I do have a question that just dawned on me. Okay, so you say around mid to late 80s,
Yeah.
you kind of went on hiatus.
Yep.
And then the 90s. So what I just thought of, I never thought to ask you is, you weren't b-boying for years.
Nah, I was hanging out in freestyle clubs. No, but when I would go to, and I don't want to say freestyle clubs, because back then you could go to an event with Lil Louis Vega DJ, and then next thing you know, Dougie Fresh is performing.
Yeah, or
And then
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah, and
That's how it was. Yes.
After they get off, then they're playing like new wave music.
Right, yes.
So
it was a mishmash.
It was really dope.
Yeah.
And shit, I lost my train of thought.
Well, because I'm curious, how did you maintain your moves for the times that you were on hiatus?
So one of the things is that I didn't practice, I wasn't practicing, and I would mess around, like when I was working in the gym, I'd hit the floor, but that's just goofing around.
Right.
But the one thing is that we do this out of culture. You know, we didn't get into breaking to have an opportunity. We were breaking to battle.
Right.
You know, that was our local hood opportunity shit to do.
Right.
And we ended up, oh my God, what do we do? Oh, whenever I go to a place like 1018, you know, end of the night, what are they doing? Playing Just Begun,
Yes.
Give It Up and Turn It Loose. And I'm a B-boy, of course I'm gonna go down.
Right.
And back then, when I was going to those clubs, it was the first time I also saw capoeira, because Cult Jam,
Yes, Lisa. Correct.
those dudes both did capoeira.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. That's insane.
They would be in 1018 and doing capoeira sometimes.
Wow.
And using intertwining dance moves into it.
Wow. And what's fascinating, another thing that I want to bring up, because this was very like trippy to me. when you came up as a b-boy, you were dancing to the standards, James Brown, Jimmy Castor.
All the break beats. I
Right.
mean, Frisco, disco, all
but
that
a,
stuff.
But a lot of kids from my age group thought it
go to
was
electro.
Buffalo Gals and Planet Rock.
Yeah.
Could you explain how you viewed that whole move?
I like some of the electro stuff. Of course, you know, we like Trans Europe Express. So if you like Trans Europe Express, you're gonna like Planet Rock.
Right. But you weren't necessarily breaking.
I wasn't breaking
to
a Planet Rock. I mean, if we had to, we would.
Right.
But it wasn't our go-to. That was more for like the electric boogie boys before they realized that they weren't poppers and lockers.
Right.
And I mean, it's culture for us, bro.
Right. You were doing.
culture.
So now
It's kind of like you don't. How do you ask somebody who's Latino and dances salsa, cumbia, bachata? What got you back into dancing? It's like, what do you mean? We do this every time there's a family party, or this is what happens. So
Right.
for me, breaking at 10:18 at the end of the night when they throw on some break
It just
beats,
made sense to you because it
it's
was
just
party.
normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If they would have thrown on salsa, people who dance salsa would have just jumped right in.
Now, going back to the book, you just reminded there was another question because I didn't know this. So you describe the battle between you and Dynamic on their home turf, right? You go through the story and you talk about how it was a draw. You know, people kind of voted for themselves who won. But what I didn't know is that part 2 was at Lincoln Center. I thought Lincoln Center was just a separate,
No.
onto its own thing.
Henry Chalfant had set up, and this is, you know, it's funny because I saw Ken Swift doing an interview the other day, and I realized like, wow, this dude really doesn't know how all that shit played out, how one thing led to another. I was talking with Henry, and you know, I was upset that it was considered a tie at USA Skating Rink because, I mean, let's face it, overall they were trash. They were trash, and that's fine, whatever. But there was still a score to be settled. So we get the show, and Henry, you know, I tell Henry, hey, you know, do you mind if we do this show at Lincoln Center? But I want to invite Dynamic Rockers to battle us. And we set that up, and it was kind of whack because leading up to it, you know, we showed up to our press. The pressers and all the interviews and all that stuff. We already had the dope scrubs on
Yes,
with
with
our
the
crew
names,
name,
yes.
all that stuff you know, on our gear. And we had this one, I think it was maybe for either maybe New York Newsday or Daily News, whatever it is. Dynamic Rockers showed up like looking mad bummy, and you could see us in the photo shoot laughing at them while they're dancing on the
my
floor. We're just
God.
like pointing at them like, what the fuck, you know?
Competition is a serious thing, man.
No, it wasn't about competition. They were really trash.
Okay.
So we end up doing it on neutral ground because some of them used to hang out at Amsterdam houses, which
Okay.
is right on the other side of Lincoln Center. So it's not like they didn't have, you know, access to people locally as well as where, you know, from Queens. We had to come from the Bronx and Upper West Side and all that stuff. So it's not like we were in our neighborhood. Did that, and it was just a smoke show, bro. It was a brutal beatdown. And the thing is that they were so overwhelmed that when they said, all right, who won, Rocksteady or Dynamic? You heard the whole damn Lincoln Center screaming, Rocksteady, Rocksteady.
Wow.
You could see Dynamic Rockers' lips moving, forming Dynamic, but you couldn't hear them saying it.
Right.
And so that was like the crazy total beatdown.
Just to keep things
So to keep it a buck, I set up the USA Skating Rink thing.
Oh, wow.
Because I was tired of us performing and splitting up Rocksteady crew into 2 crews. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, this crew said they want to battle us. I told Henry, hey, you know, Henry said, hey, Henry Chalfant said, hey, Legs, you know, we want to film you. I was like, oh, why don't you come film us battle this crew in Queens?
So that's Henry's footage that we all see.
No, no.
Okay.
So I gave them their first 2 gigs. The same thing with New York City Breakers. Before they were called New York City Breakers, they were called Floor Masters. And Chino for New York City Breakers, Action. When he was in Floor Masters, we would practice together sometimes in the gym. And then when we got the booking for
Beach Street?
Negril,
Negril.
Cool Lady Blue was like, hey, we got a show. And I was like, hey, let's do a battle, let's do a real battle. There's a crew in my school. I was like, yo, you guys want to battle us? And they were like, bet. We did that. They even brought ringers. They brought two guys from Incredible Breakers.
Oh, wow.
So they brought ringers too.
They came with ammunition, man.
And that's not ammunition. That's someone else's artillery.
Right.
So, I always bug out when people talk about their histories and they forget how they got their first gig.
Well, it's all perspective too, it's like...
I mean, yeah, but if your first gig is
Right,
Negril,
I understand.
I did it. It
Right.
wasn't Henry's idea.
Right.
It wasn't
right.
anyone else's in the crew's idea. It was actually me, Frosty, and Take One who would have these discussions.
For just for all intents purposes, though, I do have a respect for both New York City Breakers and Dynamic just because of the history and
Yeah,
for being in,
you have to. Look, we needed them to be number one. Because we
That's
needed
what
them
it's
for
one
us
way
to
to
be number
say.
one because you can't, no. Look, I never walked, this is the first time I'm ever saying it. I would say nobody could fuck with us or anything like that, and things like that, but we were number one.
Right.
And we proved it by beating them.
Right.
Because after we did Beach Street, and we had to deal with all this bullshit because their manager, Michael Holman, was the consultant for Beach Street.
I didn't even know that much. Right.
And then they complained to Harry Belafonte about, yo.
You guys were doing routines.
Yeah, they didn't want us to do
right.
routines. They're
Right.
like, routines have been a part of breaking since
Forever.
Well, yeah. So, when we were forced to not do routines and we were forced to have, our managers forced us to have Daisy and Doze in the battle, me, Buck, qunique, Ken, and I can't speak for Ken, but we were like, yo, we had Spanky,
Right.
Outlaw, Headsman Janet. We had a squad.
Right, you had a squad.
So when we did, we were like, yo, let's battle.
Even Flex was dope.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Flex was dope.
Flex and Spanky, they were partners.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, battle you in 2 weeks at First Class in the Bronx, South Bronx. And New York City Breakers were from South Bronx. And that was another beatdown.
Ugh, wow. So much fascinating history. And it was, where was it that you had in the book? There's another thing about the book that I found. It was, what I love about Rocksteady, and I'm not sure if the New York City Breakers reacted this way, but when you guys were filming Beach Street, you guys, as young adults, were calling bullshit on the soundtrack, which I found fascinating.
Yeah, we didn't like the music. So when they presented the song Breaker's Revenge to us, we were like, nah, I ain't dancing to that shit. So Jazzy J, who was, I think it was Jazzy J or DST, when they DJ'd, we danced to breakbeats. And then they overlaid Breaker's Revenge.
Right, the soundtrack
Because
shit.
you're like, yo,
Oh,
this
the
is
score.
fucking trash. I mean, because but from the perspective of we came up on funk and soul, we
Right,
came
James
up on
Brown,
live bands.
right.
We weren't used to this new style of music yet, and I mean, I still don't like Breaker's Revenge.
What's crazy about what you're saying though is like what I said earlier is like there's this gap where the kids like me that are younger and saw the movie, whether it was on VHS or whatever, and we heard that song, we looked at it like, oh, they're dancing to it, so we want to dance. And so we would all try to imitate that battle all the time.
And
you know what I mean?
you thought that's what we were listening to.
Right, and so it was so misleading and so unfair now when you look at the whole story, you're like, I didn't know.
No, but the thing is that if you're a little kid, and look, I was 17 when I did that, but if there's a 10, 12-year-old little kid looking at that, and that's their experience, their first experience, I'm not gonna shit on that.
Right.
You know? So yeah, I think it's cool.
Man, so where are you at now? The book is done. It's for sale. How are you feeling now that this body of work is complete? Now you've had a chance to sit with this on your own, thumb through it, look at everything, probably reread some of the things.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about this accomplishment?
I'm hoping. Look, I think I'm the first person, Latino
B-boy.
Latino pioneer. Let's just keep it at that. Who had a major book deal?
Wow.
You know, because there's only 5 Latinos who have had book deals, legit book deals. That was Lee Quinones, Lady Pink, myself, Joe Conzo, and Disco Wiz.
Really?
Yeah. So if this leads to anyone of any ethnicity who's legit getting a book deal, that's a great thing. I'm hoping
Opening doors
they
for
realize
people.
that. And
Right.
one of the things, and I don't know if you picked it up, but in the book I also I point out that Rocksteady crew, although people know the face, the front men and women, they don't understand that. They may not know that we had such a big crew and everyone was as important as every face person in the crew. So I do there are pictures of crew members because you cannot, at that time, that crew was so important to all of us. It was our extended family, and I don't ever want to forget the great times we had, because, when we were at Lincoln Center, what happened after that? Everybody went to Rocksteady Park, and we, getting courts and smoking joints and having fun and celebrating.
Right.
Those fun times were with all the girls and guys who weren't necessarily b-boys, or they were just graffiti, not just, but they were graffiti writers or DJs or just fam or even roller skaters,
And you describe that in the book because you actually say that, where you're like, the crew was not just the B-boys and the B-girls, it was graffiti writers, but even outside of hip hop, it was just like homies and homegirls that would just be part of the family. And I thought that was awesome.
And some of those people served as security who had your back.
Right. There was one guy in
became a
particular,
target.
you name one person.
Larry Love?
Somebody he was like, he was the dude that he was so loyal and so on top of things, but he wasn't a breaker and he wasn't anything.
No.
He was just a member of the
danced
family.
salsa and hustle.
Right, which I found
but he was
fascinating.
he was a kickboxer.
Oh, wow, okay, so that made him security.
Yeah. He passed away, so rest in peace to Larry Love.
Yes, sir.
Not
yes,
sir.
No, not that Larry.
That's another one.
A lot of people borrowed names,
No, but he was Larry Love before that song came out.
Gotcha.
He was older.
Gotcha. So, ladies and gentlemen, the book is up and available for sale. Check later tonight. I'm gonna have a link to the Barnes & Noble with the sales.
Stutters.
You put it in already, Stutters?
The link is there.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat.
So the link is already in the chat, but we'll have it in the description once this episode goes up. This book is a brilliant book. It's beautiful. The photos alone. And that's probably the whole point, was the photos, correct? It was like...
Yeah, it's the photos and the stories that aren't so known out there. And shout out to my man Angel De Leon, who's watching.
Yo, what up, Angel, son?
Yes, Dominican.
I That's my boy. That's the brother right there. What was your overall inspiration to want to put a book together? It was more like
it was their inspiration. They came to me, and I know the pedigree that Rizzoli is, and I was like, hell yeah.
How long did it take?
The whole process took about a year and a half.
And you had to go digging, obviously, for photos.
Bro, you know what took the most time? Scanning.
Scanning is a very slow process.
Yeah, and our inability to get empanadas delivered during the show. So.
Well, anyway, Legs, once again,
yes, sir.
You are the most frequent guest we've had. Wait, You chat pre-ordered. Thank you, everyone who has ordered. Crazy Legs, your thoughts on B-boy scene blowing up over in Tokyo? What do you feel?
B-boy scene been blown up in Tokyo.
No, but what do you feel like when
We're
you
the ones who brought it there.
But when you see where certain, like not just Tokyo, but in Europe, because you got a trip, you started in the Bronx, and as a kid, that's all you could think of.
Yeah.
So when you cross the globe and you see, like for instance, I'll take it even deeper than the homie Gorilla. You invented the move that people know as the windmill.
I just burnt.
You invented that move, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Originally called the continuous backspin.
Right. So when now you see it all over the world and it's a go-to, do you trip on shit like that?
The only time I ever tripped on it was during a conversation with Fast Feet, which goes back to our original conversation. And he was like, yo, Legs, just go out there and battle people. There's still people out there. I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? Battle people doing my moves? He goes, why are you looking at it that way? You have to think. You created something, like a Bronx Puerto Rican created something that people are doing all around the world. So you gotta be, you gotta appreciate that.
That's gotta be crazy though.
Yeah, so I never thought about it again.
Wow, that's insane. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat, for all your amazing comments and questions. I appreciate it. Thank you, Crazy Legs, once again for being the most frequent guest on Live from the Lab, ladies and gentlemen.
And Stutters, remember?
Thank you, Stutters.
You're half the man your mother was.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in for this special edition of Live from the Lab. Don't forget the book is up for order right now for pre-sales. It will be coming out September when?
They'll be arriving in everyone's mailboxes starting September 22nd.
September 22nd.
And we will do on September 28th at the Rizzoli store in New York a book signing.
So if you're in New York City, September 28th, remember Crazy Legs will be there to officially be signing copies of his book. Also, you'll be going on a book tour as well.
We'll be doing a book tour.
Do you think it'll be worldwide?
France.
Oh, wow. It will be worldwide.
Yeah, Japan, France, maybe Switzerland. We're doing LA. We're going to be doing on October 8th at FYI, which is will.i.am's place.
Yes, here in LA.
Yeah, here in LA, right next door to that place called The Living Room, which is like a Soho house kind of vibe. And we're going to do Trill.
Oh,
Phoenix.
really?
Yeah, we're going to do Phoenix. We're gonna do something during Art Week in Miami.
Okay.
And that's probably gonna be at Dante's Hi-Fi with Rich Medina.
Nice.
And some of these things are gonna be parties and signings, and some of them will be like in Paris. We'll have discussions. We'll do a lot. And July 29th at Central Park Summer Stage. Before they do the breakbeat, before Breakbeat Lou does his ultimate
set
beats and breaks, or breaks and beats, whatever, 40th anniversary, I'll be doing something before that. There's gonna be a panel discussion over there in Central Park.
Beautiful, man.
Yep.
God bless, man. I love you, bro. And this is just amazing. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Crazy Legs, who was kind enough to bring us the very first copy that he received in the mail of his beautiful book, Rocksteady for Life. Make sure you check.
And you're the first. You're the first one to interview me about the book, so.
And I was the first member in the 90s, too. There's a lot of firsts in qunique's resume.
And your name is I think your name shows up before Anthony's.
So stay tuned for his schedule. He will definitely be posting his tour schedule for the book on his Instagram, of course. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Thank you once again. And thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Come through on Friday for Friday Vibes with Q. We'll be talking our ish. Much love to y'all. Salute to everybody in the chat. Much love. Thank you for your support with the super chat, super stickers, and super gifts. And I'll be seeing you on Friday. Peace.